I hope you guys can hear me. Well, all right. Welcome to, let me move this back so she a little close. Okay. All right. So welcome to my YouTube page. I am Candace Idahan. For those of you who do not know or are new to my page, welcome and thank you for being here. I'm super happy that you are here. So leave a comment if you like this video. Check out my other videos. We are doing a 30-day challenge that started November 1st. And the premise of the challenge is to really motivate you to finish this year strong. A lot of people at this stage in the game, of the year, are like, it's over. Like, can't much. Like, there's nothing much that can be done. I'm over it. We're just gonna start fresh in January, and that's just gonna be it. But to the contrary, there is a lot more that can be done before this year is out. And that is a part of this challenge, or the goal of this challenge, to really help you guys focus in on the things that you want to accomplish for the rest of this year. I don't think it's by accident that this is the 11th month. November is obviously before December, and we're going to have to jump into January. And this is when people want to say, oh, it's the resolution time, I'm going to make a resolution. But I don't think it's by accident that if you watch my previous video, I shared that God told me to start fasting, to start a consecration, to start regrouping or reorganizing my focus for the new year now. And what he said to me was, if you wait until January to refocus and decide that, oh, I'm going to do this cleanse, you do this whatever, this reset, because that's really what, in essence, most people do in January, you're going to do it, it's going to be too late. So if the goal is to hit the year, running, and to start the year strong and all of that, you can't start strong in something that you haven't even begun to do. You're going to still be starting. You're going to start and mess up a little bit, try to figure it out. Like I gave the example of meal prepping. You're going to go work out. Your goal is to go do a hard hour of cardio. You're not going to, after the cardio, then go set up food to have to eat, because you're going to be starving. You need, you're already in the momentum, you're already moving, you're already going. So it's the same thing. You want to have your meal ready, meaning you've pre-gamed, you planned, you figured out what you need to do beforehand. You set up your food so that you weren't going to be looking for something later on, so that the momentum is already, I'm eating, I'm already in the game. My body is able to recalibrate because I just worked out. I'm putting fuel back into my body, and I can go do the rest of my day. This is that meal prep, so that in January, you're able to hit the ground running. You already have everything set up. You already know, okay, these are the keys that I need to focus on. These are the things that have been working. This is what hasn't been working. This is what I need to shift to. But if you start in January, how are you going to then be ready for your year? Because you're in the year in January. You're in the year that you wanted to start fresh and resetting. The reset needs to happen now. When you plug something into an outlet, you reset it first, then you plug it into the outlet, and then turn the setting on so that you can start using it. You don't plug it in and then try it. You have to make sure that the socket is calibrated for you to be able to keep it moving and use whatever you're trying to use. It's the same idea. We use it in every other way, but then we start a new year backwards. We start a new year oh yeah, I'm going to start fresh in the new year. You don't start fresh in the new year, because you're still starting with old habits. You haven't put the systems in place to be able to really propel or create the momentum that you need to actually execute in the year. And if you have been one of the people who every single year, you've been saying, oh yeah, I'm going to start fresh in January, this is the year. How many more years you going to waste starting fresh in January before you realize that it doesn't work? Because you're not going to start fresh in January, right after you had all the holidays that made you super relaxed with no boundaries, no cares in the world. You just gonna wake up one day after you're probably hungover from New Year's, or you were hanging out till late on New Year's, and then you're gonna wake up suddenly with all the momentum and energy to then start working out or to work on your plan or to then draft a letter for your job to say that you're doing or you need a raise. That's not how that works. You have to put plans and things in place so that you can actually execute them. I know this because I've done it several times, which is why I have a successful business, and which is why I'm able to actually help other people grow their businesses or leverage their businesses. So you want to put these plans and these systems in place beforehand. And like I said, that's what God said to me a few years ago when I was getting ready for a major move in my life. He told me to make sure you start doing this now, because if you start in January, you're going to be too late. And now in hindsight, had I just begun the process in January, I would have absolutely missed my blessing. I would have absolutely been too late. I would have absolutely not had the obedience training to hear and to get what I needed to get to move into the space that I'm in now if I did not start in November. Because let's face it, it takes some time to get the noise, like I said yesterday on the live, to get the noise, the fear out of your head, to get the, is that really what I'm supposed to do? Get that trial and error out, get your commitments down. What are you committing to? You can't figure all of it out in the month that you're supposed to be just suddenly starting fresh and jumping ahead and executing on everything successfully, and life is just going to be grand suddenly because the clock strike 12. That's just not how things work in reality. And I'm trying to get y'all back on this planet Earth and not in Instagram land or YouTube land where people just tell you anything and you buy it because it sounds good, because you actually don't want to put the work in. Because there's no way for you to reach success without putting the work in. That's just the long and short of it. Nobody ever has been able to get far without putting the work in. So let this be the reminder that you have to do the work to see results. You have to go to the gym to actually create results. Even for my, lipo baddies out there, you can go and get the surgery, but guess what? That fat is going to come back somewhere else. Or you're still going to need surgery somewhere else because you're not putting in the work. So this is a simple recipe to do the work, to put the systems in place so you can do the work so that you can create results. And that's what we're doing these 30 days. Every single day there's a new topic, which today's topic is focus, because it is the weekend, it is Friday, and I know a lot of people want to just be outside, living life, doing all the things. It's a beautiful Friday night here in New York City, so it's easy to get lost into the fun and the festivity of things. But I would like to urge you, if it does not align with the goals that you have, need not apply. You need to keep your behind in the house or working on whatever capacity your goal is. You need to be in the gym, you need to be in the library, you need to be in the study hall, you need to be in, a friend's place if you're doing brainstorm sessions together. You need to be somewhere working on your commitment. It's 30 days. This is not the time to say on the first weekend, oh, I'm outside, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. No. This is the time where you need to really zone in. If you can't focus in on day 3, what you going to do on day 17, on day 28? At that point, that's really when you need all the extra motivation and anchoring. When it really gets like, dang, this is towards the end. Right now, you should be excited. The excitement of thinking of that vision, of that end game, is what should really be like, nah, I'm in it. Nope, I can't. No, I can't go out tonight. Sorry, I can't. It's not aligned with my goals. And that's what you need to say every time. And that's why I suggested for you guys to share this challenge with friends. Because if friends know, let's say your goal is to be in the gym every day or work out in some capacity, then they shouldn't be inviting you out to dinner, to go to Buffalo Wild Wings or wherever it is that y'all like to go. Like, they should be aligned and like, oh no, I'm not gonna invite Candace because I know that right now she should be working on her business plan, because she said every night at 8 o'clock she was gonna do her business plan. So it's 8, so I'm never gonna text her. I'll check in on her and be like, hey, are you working on your plan? Because that's what real friends do. They keep you accountable, they keep you encouraged, and they help you to reach your goals. So if you've shared it with friends like, hey, this is what I'm trying to do, and they're actually not helping, or they're like, girl, you can worry about that tomorrow. It's not that serious. Like, you can one day. Those are not your friends. And that's just the long and short of it. So I want you guys to, again, Invite friends to this challenge so they can help you when it gets tough. They can keep you accountable. They can keep you encouraged. You can actually work on your things together, whatever you're committing to. That's really the goal and should be the focus. If you don't have friends like that, then this is the challenge where you may want to get some new friends. Because let's face it, you can't do life alone. And if you're really trying to accomplish something, you need actual support. So make sure that you're getting support from people who believe in you, who want to encourage you, and who want to love on you and see you actually create the results that are going to make you happy. Because obviously, if you're doing this, it's for you. It's a goal of yours, and of course, the result is going to be the joy that you're able to execute and successfully finish something. So yes, the topic of today is focus. Focus. We are going to focus. Okay? Yes. The goal is focus. Why? Because like I said, it is the weekend and it's very easy to want to let your hair down on the weekend. Like, oh, I want to have a drink. I do have people on here that I've spoken to that they're going to stop drinking for the 30-day challenge. That's something that has been an issue for them, and they, for various reasons, have chosen to stop drinking for the 30 days and in hopes of longevity and not doing that, or having more control in when they do actually partake in drinking. So if that is you, or if there's anything, similar, the focus is what you need for the weekend, because this is a time when people want to go out and have a good time, relieve stress from work and their work week and all of that. This is when people want to do that. But this is why I want you guys to focus. This is why day one was commitment. And this is why I said in that video, if you haven't watched it, please go and watch the day one video on commitment, because it is going to be your daily commitment that helps you focus on what you need to reach the 30 days on this challenge. We are 3 days in, so you only have 27 days left. Look how fast 3 days went by. It's already the evening, so let's face it, we're basically on day 4, okay? So you want to think about how much is it going to require you to focus? What do you need to do to focus? One thing I was saying to someone today is your language. Your language is so important. And a lot of people have very poor language with themselves. This whole phenomenon of, therapy and people seeking help and all of this self-help stuff and all of that has created this language around like, oh, I know what my issues are. I know what I struggle with. I know this and I know that. Yeah, but if you're not actively trying to do something about it, it's just information. And we are in an overload of information. So if now I know that, I have an issue with people pleasing, right? Let's say that's the issue. I know that that's the issue, so what are you going to put into practice? You need to be practicing how to say no. Not just that, that's my issue, I just people please all the time. Okay, great. Now, what are you doing about that? How are you going to stop that behavior? Because obviously it's not serving you. Obviously there's times when you need to say no and you can't because of this, people pleasing. And I'm not downplaying that because people have real issues with things. But what I'm finding is people get stuck in identifying what it is and not actually doing something about it. And that's the curtain or the lens that you hide, or the mask. Oh yeah, that's just my issue. Okay, and I'm not going to baby those things. Me babying the idea that you have an issue that you identified is not going to help you reach the other side of success. It's just not. So what are we going to do about that? How are we going to change that? How are we going to use the leverage of, having that successful information, knowing that, you have this issue? How are we going to shift from that issue and make it not a problem, or use it as your advantage? Excuse me. Use it as your advantage. Hold on, let me drink some water first. How are you going to use that as to your advantage? That's the question. So if you're able to identify an issue, if you're a person who can't speak up for themselves a lot, again, this is something these are things that people don't think about. That can be something that you focus on for the 30 days. Speaking up for yourself, asserting yourself in all situations. So one thing that I wanted to practice was radical obedience to God, right? So if I hear God say something to me, my focus is immediate obedience. I'm not asking no questions. I'm not like, but I don't really want to. I'm not doing that because I want to train myself to hear and do. The moment I sit back and say, oh, well, yeah, I heard that, but, I don't really, is now, I'm in disobedience. And number two, I'm giving space in between me actually going out and doing something. Versus, I hear him say, get that napkin, I'm going to go get that napkin. I hear him say, go here and go do that, I'm going to do that. And for those of you who are like, yeah, but what if it's the wrong thing to do? Scripture says he makes every crooked path straight. And that's a scripture that I live by. I'm not going to live in fear and say like, oh my gosh, like I'm not sure. If it's not something obviously that is wrong, clearly wrong, then, and it's something that makes sense for me to go and do, and by the Holy Spirit, I believe that's the leading, I'm going to go do it and trust that if it's something wrong, he's going to close the door. He's going to reshift, he's going to redirect me because of his love for me, he's going to redirect me if I'm somewhere that I don't need to be. So it's the same thing for you. If you're going to say, okay, well, my issue is people pleasing, or my issue is, not being able to say no, or my issue is whatever the case is, then the opposite of that is being assertive. So, I really don't like that he's put that much ketchup on my fries. I don't want any ketchup on my fries. Actually, can you remake that? Because I didn't ask for that and you gave that to me. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Plain and simply. If that's what you need to work on, if that's what you need to practice, then that's what you practice. But the goal is that you need to be focusing on whatever it is, and everything around you needs to be conspiring to make that happen. So the language that you use, I don't want to hear in these 30 days, I can't. I don't want to hear it's hard. I don't want to hear I struggle with. Those are all things that are negative and do not encourage you to do anything different. Those words keep you stagnant. I can't. Why can't you? Usually it's riddled with fear. I can't do that. Why not? Because you're scared? Because who said that you couldn't do it? If you could think about it, you can do it. Because all of these inventions and things we have around us, someone thought about it and said, oh, I could do this. Someone thought about, there should be light here and I don't want to use candles. Let me figure out how to create this light bulb. I need a cab, but I don't feel like having to call a base and be on hold for forever. Let me create an app. There should be, I do everything else on my phone. Why can't I just do it without talking to somebody? Now we got Uber. If you can think, what do you mean you can't? Like, what do you mean you can't? Obviously you can. So if you don't want to focus, exactly, if you think about it, you can create it. You literally can do it. Nike, just do it. Literally, if you think about it, and that's how I operate my life. If I think about something, it can happen. Because that's the first stage of invention. You thinking about a need or a use for something, and then you figure out how to create it. So if you start saying, oh, I can't. Well, I can't do that. I can't do this. That's too hard. It's literally like you put cement on your legs and you're not going to move. Because you just declared out of your mouth, the power of life and death is in the tongue. If you're going to create life, you need to speak. You need to say, oh, I can do this. I'm not sure how yet, but I can figure out how to do this. The unsurety still gives room for the possibility. I can't is a firm stop. You cemented yourself to the ground. I can figure out, I can. The willingness, this is what we need. The willingness to commit and stay focused every single day. That is what you need to figure out on this challenge. How to stay focused when things seem to be difficult. Because I'm not going to lie, things may become difficult. But you have to commit, silence the fear, creating that plan that you put together, and then focus. You have the plan, you've already committed, focus. Everyone and everything around you should be conspiring to make it happen, make it turn out. Your language should be a part of the plan to make it happen. you should be saying, I can do this. I can figure out how to do this. A part of your planning, you should be, if your goal is to create a juice bar, you should be writing down, who do I know that owns a supermarket? Who do I know that has a food truck? Who do I know that cooks? Who do I know that has an aunt that works at a restaurant? Because I need to talk to people about where they get their food from so I can figure out how to get fruits. Who do I know that, has a big enough kitchen that I can test it? You have to start thinking, but if you admit, I can't, I want to do, how am I do? How are you going to get to the stage where you actually are putting the plan in action if your language is already stopping you? If they have studies that show you can put a plant somewhere and speak to the plant negatively and it die, imagine what a human being, if you speak to a human negatively, what's going to happen? If you tell a child they're stupid every single day, they're going to grow up and think that they're stupid. The same way if you tell a child, oh my gosh, you're so smart, you're a genius, they're going to literally think they're the smartest person in the world. So if you're speaking to yourself, not in a positive or healthy way, of course you're not going to think you can accomplish anything. Of course you're not going to think you're going to be able to, accomplish the dreams and the goals you have. Of course you're only going to think you're going to be able to work for somebody for the rest of your life, because you're not even speaking life to yourself. Excuse me. You're not even speaking life to yourself. You're not even confident enough to say, yes, I can do this. Even when you don't feel like you can, you still have to speak it. Even when you don't think you're doing the best, or oh my gosh, whatever it is, I don't look the best today. You still have to, but I'm sent and I'm called and this is what I'm supposed to do, so I'm going to do it to the best of my abilities, the way that I'm showing up right here, right now. But if you don't take the time to speak the life over yourself, to give yourself the pep talk, and I learned this, I believe it's in like Jewish households, they speak like certain prayers over their children before they leave the house. If you need to do that every day, if you need to put post-its up, if you need to find scripture that encourages you, do what you need to do so that you're able to be encouraged, so that your language changes, because that's a part of your focus. Should not be spoken the rest of this month. Too hard should not be spoken the rest of this month. I struggle with should not be spoken the rest of this month. You don't struggle with anything. That's why we're doing this challenge. Just end the struggle. You can identify the things, but now I've identified what is the conversation now, what is the plan of action, like I said yesterday, to combat fear. What is it that I'm going to put here to combat all of this, what I struggle with? Okay, so now I struggle with, drinking, for example. So I'm going to keep myself out the bar. Or I'm going to find something that I enjoy drinking on that I can do. I'm going to find something else to do with my time during the hours that I normally would go out and drink. Whatever it is, that is what you need to find your focus on. That's what you need to spend time thinking about. And again, having the friends around you to conspire to help you to stay on task, to stay focused, to stay where you need to be. Just checking my notes here to make sure. I mentioned everything that I wanted to share with you guys, because I don't want to be long on these lives, because I want you to be out there doing, and I want you to get what you need to get from this and be motivated to charge back up and go back out. I'm doing this challenge just as much as you are. I'm listening to these things just as much as I'm sharing them with you. I'm taking my own advice. So I don't want to, or anyone to think that, she's just saying this. No, I have to actively live by these things too. That's why I'm able to accomplish the things that I'm able to accomplish, because I do focus. I hyper focus. Before I opened my first location in New York City, I worked very hard at a few salons because I had goals and I needed to build and save. That whole almost 6 months leading up to me opening my first location, I did not go out anywhere. And I believed in going out to a dinner, to a restaurant, to a lounge, to have a good time. Believed in it. Loved to shop. Love it. But because I knew I had a goal in mind, because I knew it would take a lot for me to accomplish it, I had to sacrifice and stay focused. So when my friends were going out, no, I'm not going. When people were like, oh, let's go, hey, do this, it's gonna cost me a couple dollars, no thank you. I literally wore the same sandals all summer till one of them literally had a hole in the bottom. And I refused to buy another one. I think my mom ended up buying me like another pair of sandals or something. But like I refused, and it was one that could go with everything and they were comfortable, so I wear them all the time. But it was like, I'm not spending any money doing anything because every single dollar matters. Every single dollar matters. I was that focused that I was like, no, I'm not even buying another pair of shoes. I don't care what people think. Because guess what? When my salon opens and people are going to go work for somebody else and do whatever, I'm going to be like, nah, this is me. I'm willing to make that sacrifice. I'm willing to be that focused so that I can have things that other people don't. And it's not to be, oh, let me brag on this. No, I just know what my goals are. I just know what I really want to have out of life. I know the lifestyle that I want. I know the experiences that I want to have. I know the experience that I want to give my family. I know that. So a little cheap thrill, and this is the issue with a lot of people, you keep settling for these little cheap thrills and then they don't amount to anything but wasted time. So how long are you going to let these cheap thrills be the exciting moment, this glimmer of time? Well, let me just go out real quick. And then $200 later, 4 hours later, and you really didn't have that great of a time, and you could have been working on your stuff. That's one thing that I used to hate, the feeling when I would go out, like after I had my son and all that, and I would go out and I was just like, you know what I could be doing right now? You know what I could be working on? If going out is not going to advance me or be like so worth it, I'm not doing it. And it's not to say I don't do things to have fun, because I believe in a vacation, absolutely. But I curate my experiences because I also want to have the best kind of experience. If I'm not having top tier level of service, like if I'm gonna go on vacation, I need butler service. Like I need high level things so that my experience is flawless. I'm not doing cheap thrills. So I can stay focused long enough because I know that this is what I want to have. This is where I want to go. This is what I want to do. I don't want to have no, oh yeah, that was cute. Or this is just a, no, I'm not a levels girl. This is where I'm at. It's the best or nothing. That's just me. It's what I want exactly, or it's nothing. I'm okay with the nothing unless it's exactly what I want. And that's just the level of focus that I have. And I'm going to keep going until I get it. And I do enjoy life. I do things. I have standing dates with girlfriends because that's a part of a commitment thing that I've worked on. Just honoring my word and planning, because I was very like, I don't want to plan anything because I don't want the commitment. I was anti-commitment. And then I had to shift so that, one, I want to have a family and be married and all that. You can't not like commitment in any factor, but then you want commitment in a relationship setting. That don't make no sense. So I had to regroup and do the things that I could do to focus on that goal, which make a date, stick with it. We're going out on Thursday at 6. We're going out Thursday at 6 because I need to commit to making plans. Because it's not like, oh, it's one thing. Oh, it's like, but I could commit if, I'm married or whatever. Can you? Because if you can't even commit to a dinner plan and you feel like it's just easier to just be like, no, I'm not doing that. I don't want to set no time or nothing, because what if I don't feel like going? What do you mean you don't feel? So when you're married, what if I don't feel like being your wife today? Because you got like, I don't feel like it was too hard. Like I don't feel like having to do any of this. Commitment is commitment 100% of the time in every single setting. There's not a separate kind of commitment for something else. So you can't compartmentalize commitment. Commitment is commitment. If your word is not good, your word is not going to be good in a relationship. That's just what it is. So I had to refocus because I want those things. I want marriage. And I know God is not going to bless me if I can't even keep a dinner date with a friend. Because I'm like, don't make no plans. I'll call you if I feel like going on Friday night. Like, oh, what you doing Friday? Or nothing. Oh, let's make a plan. No, I'm going to let you know on Friday because I don't want the commitment is, ooh, it's too deep. It's too much. No, thank you. That's the issue. And social media glamorizes, we're off on a tangent, but social media glamorizes the idea of, oh, we're not gonna commit. Oh, I love it when my friends are like, oh, let's just cancel. Like, no. Of course, real things can come up and you can cancel, but it shouldn't be a regular occurrence. People shouldn't say, oh, like, you know, she's not gonna come. You know, she's gonna find an excuse to not do it. Where is your level of commitment? And if you feel like you need to cancel on these set of friends, then maybe that's not the correct set of friends you need to have. These are just the things that you need to figure out. So anyway, back on topic, although that was still a part of the topic, because that was our day one commitment. You just want to make sure that you're not allowing there to be space between you and your focused goal. The goal is to execute, and execution takes consistency, and consistency happens by doing the same thing every single day. So if the goal is whatever you picked up on, some people want to focus on their nail business. Maybe it's to post every day. Maybe it's to do some kind of marketing tactics so that you're gaining or finding new clients for your business every single day. Or if you're a hairstylist, whatever your business is, maybe your goal is to find, that thing every single day. Cool. Focus on it. Plan every day. What am I going to do? What is the plan of action for today? What is the plan of action for Saturday? What is going to keep me on track for Saturday? What is going to keep me on track on day 7? That's what focus does. You have to be laser focused. If you know that you're someone who gets distracted easily, you have maybe your plan is the type of your business plan, but you get distracted easy. Then calming music really helps me to stay focused. Then you need to create a calming music playlist, because that's what you need. The moment you get in your house, throw on that playlist, I'm on my laptop and I'm focusing. Whatever it is that you need to help you to focus, that's what I want you guys to spend this weekend doing, to keep you in the game. It's not time to give up. It's not time to lose focus. It's not time to create negative language. Even if you messed up, you can reboot. You can start over. New mercies are given to you every morning. So you have the opportunity to refocus. Remember, focus is in the word. Refocus and get back on your game. Don't let one mishap stop you from 27 more days, because that would be crazy. You have 27 more days. Let's jump back on the bandwagon if you fell off. If you've been on it and you're doing good, kudos to you. I'm proud of you. Whoop, whoop, pat yourself on the back. Also, write little notes to yourself. If you had a really good day, write out why you had a good day. Write out what you did to have a good day, so that when you're on a day where it's a little sucky or it's a little hard or you don't feel like getting up to do whatever it is you're supposed to be doing, go back to that day when you had that good note. Go back to the day when you were in the best mood and you felt so happy that you were able to execute on whatever your task was. Go back to that day and make sure that day motivates you for the new day. So I want you guys to remember, the weekend is not the time to fall off. The rest of the weekend's focus is going to be the goal for Friday. It's always going to be your goal for Friday, because the weekends always tend to be real people. If it's eat it, you feel a little extra snackish when you're at home. You got all the snacks. One, you shouldn't have any snacks. You should throw them out and give them to your neighbors or did something with them, because if that's this eating is what you're going to focus on, you shouldn't have things that's going to tempt you. But you want to make sure that whatever it is, you have the things in place to keep you focused. Remember your language. Your language should only be positivity. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. You should be speaking life to yourself. I can do this. I can figure out how to do this. I can reach out to people to do this. I no longer struggle with people pleasing, so I know how to assert myself and say no. I'm going to practice, matter of fact, this weekend saying no. Because this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do to get to your goal. Making sure that your friends or whoever is in community with you are your accountability. Make sure that they're going to help you stay accountable. Make sure they know what your goal is that you're working towards. So if they see you derailing or they hear you, talking crazy, and it don't sound like, they're like, girl, what you talking about? This is what we do. I thought we were focusing on this. I thought we were doing this. Make sure you have people to support you and to stay in your corner. And that's why I said to get friends to join this challenge. So make sure you send this video or any of the other videos on my YouTube page to friends of yours, family members, whoever you want to do the challenge with, or whoever you think would benefit from doing this challenge. Make sure you send this video to them because it will be a very good help for you. You're doing it kind of for selfish reasons, because the more people that you have in your corner that can keep you accountable, the better. So yes, let's remember to focus today. That is the goal. If you think about it, you can do it. Absolutely. Remember, that is the goal for today. I will post our video for tomorrow, for our topic of tomorrow. So make sure I'm going to create a playlist for these videos that are part of the challenge, because of course my page is going to be filled up with other things eventually, but you can always find this challenge or the videos that I created in that playlist. You should find it on my YouTube page. Please like this video and subscribe. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, you can leave it in the comments, because I do read them and I will circle back to them. But that is it for now. Thank you guys for tuning in. I am excited to see again what we create in these 27 days left of this challenge. See, it's already 27 days, guys. You can do it. There are only 27 days left. Don't forget that. Thank you. I believe in you. I believe in me. Let's win. I'll talk to you guys soon.